Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick, week 2. We're at Friday, Football Friday here, and I'm really looking forward to it. And someone asked me on Instagram recently, Lawson, what's your favorite show to do? Of course, I want to say the Vegas spread picks because that's what puts the bread on the table. That's what really I'm judged by. But honestly, it's really this Friday show, the live call-in show. And it's mostly because you guys, because listen, you guys have what you want to bet, and I also have what I want to bet. And you guys have your opinions, and I have mine, but you guys actually provide good opinions, good insight. And sometimes you guys are watching games that, I'm staying away from, or I feel are dangerous, but then I take a second look and then I profit. So, I mean, that's what's so useful about this show. So I just want to say thank you guys and keep hitting that like button. Man, it's been a great start to the season. The numbers have actually surprised me. Now it's really just more a testament to you guys, and you guys are helping me with the algorithm. I really appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yo, what's up, Garcia? What's up, Garcia? What's up, Joe? J-Law, love your show, but you're starting to let other things get in the way. No show, late show. No, it's not really like this. I did the same schedule pretty much last year, so pretty much everything I do is pretty much the same. In terms of betting soccer, unfortunately, to do this year round, you have to have another bell cow, and that's why I always do it on Patreon. I gotta have something year round. I'm not gonna go home and hang up my betting hand in placing the bet down just because the NFL's. Of course, the NFL is where I make most of my money, and last year was absolutely phenomenal, and this year won't be any different. Honestly, my dad and another shark who's a friend, this guy actually retired to Mexico. He was telling me I shouldn't have even bet week 1, and that was my mistake. It is what it is. Last year we won big on week 1. I see a lot of money coming this year, and I think it's going to be a very lucrative year. Yeah, no one wants to take an L week 1. Of course, I don't. No one does. And also with betting, you have to diversify. I'm not as good with college football as you guys, so I have to do other things. Yeah, but that's where we're at. What's up, CMC? All right, guys, I got to get to the Patreon question first. I'll get to them first, and I'll get to the YouTube questions left, the super chats that were sent in, and then I'll get to the chat. So just be patient with me, and we'll get to your questions. And I want to just say thank you to the Patreon supporters. You guys have been phenomenal. $5 a month, link in the description. That's where you see every game I bet. I will be posting them tonight about 10:30. I have to do a little bit of editing work on the video, make the thumbnail, but they will be up tonight. I also have a soccer bet I'm watching tonight after the show. I'll take this question first because I also have to make this announcement. I am changing my pick I'm changing it from the Cowboys to the Chargers, and I'm going to explain why. The Chargers -3 against the Cowboys team that seems to be a top 3 offense. I don't even like Dallas, but even without them getting Zeke going, it seems to be a top 5 offense. So you got this Dallas offense, which is absolute fire against a young upstart quarterback, maybe the best young quarterback in the league. And okay, I was leaning towards Dallas, but the injuries on Dallas's defense are going to have a problem. And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, in the chat, but I did see DeMarcus Lawrence was out, and I think that's too big a loss for this Dallas defense that is already down talent. Now, LA's not a hard place to play. There's not going to be crowd noise. Think of it more as a neutral field. You shouldn't add the 3 points on just because the Chargers are at home. They get no atmosphere, and that's nothing against my Chargers fans. Most of the Chargers fans who subscribe to the show live in San Diego or in that radius. They just can't get to the game. So that's where it's at. I think it's almost like a neutral field game, but I think I truly believe the Chargers get a better pass rush than the Cowboys do, and that's going to be what changes this game. It seems like it will still be a shootout, and in a shootout, it's one turnover. And I think that's going to be the difference. And I like Herbert in this game. I am changing my pick there just so everyone has it on record. And to clarify, I am going Cincinnati +3. I did see some questions this week. I am going Cincinnati +3. I had to take another day to let that matchup sink in my head. Okay, let me get to the Patreon questions. It's just for the Patreon subscribers. I can't answer every single question you guys write, just due to the fact that I'll be posting the answer to your question on Patreon, just because I want people to get on the Patreon. This is from Shay Garcia. Hey Lawson, keep up the great work. What do you think of this? Titans +6, Bills -3. Bills over 48. Should I change a team? Okay, I think this is good for YouTube. Let me just bring up the spreads because from the gist of it, I liked it. Although I'll get to it. I'll get to it once I get my spreads up. Once I get my lines up. Okay, here we go. Let's get it. But I think the guy commenting earlier, I think maybe the Delta 8 sponsorship that I've been pushing on Instagram does look a little bit shady. I don't blame him. Okay, so let me get to this question. Sorry for the delay. We got Titans +6, Bills -3, Bills over 48. I like the Bills part, and listen, that Bills game is a money pick, and it's a good bet, and the matchups are great. Let's be realistic. But there's a reason why I'm nervous about it. This game should be a money pick. Maybe I have a little bit of the week one jitters. That's why after this show, I have to sit down. I have to think. I have to reflect. And that's what I'm going to do. But from everything that I've read about this game, the film we've watched, examining the rosters, you have to think Buffalo's favored in this game and should win it. You feel like Buffalo should win it easily, especially when you look at the quarterback matchups. And both teams play about equally good on defense. I like Flores' scheme. I love Flores' scheme, but I think the Bills have just a little bit more talent on defense. So when it comes down to quarterbacks and offensive dogs, you have to roll at the Bills. And so I absolutely love that. The Titans +6, I'm a little bit nervous about. It's good fundamentals. Everything stacks up with it, especially how it ticked up the +6.5. +6.5 is just too big for me now. You have to put it on. You guys knew on Tuesday, I picked this game, and I was pretty defiant about it, and I really didn't give a rat's ass how I was going to look like a hypocrite, because everyone knows I'm critical of Mike Vrabel. Everyone knows I'm critical of Ryan Tannehill and them losing their OC during the offseason. But even with me being critical of Mike Vrabel, we can all still admit that the Titans have a great roster. They got a pretty decent quarterback. They got a big offensive line, and they got one of the best running backs in the damn game. And you go on the road against Seattle, that's what you have to do. You have to play gritty, early 90s, mid-80s football. This isn't a game where you want Tannehill throwing it. And I know you guys love the Julio Granite Stone Jones pickup. I'm mad, and that's great. You trade for him in franchise mode. That's two great receivers on the outside with the best running back in the game. What can go wrong? The reason why Tannehill's been putting up top 5 stats is because he barely throws it. And he does so much play action. You got the best running back in the game, 9-man fronts. Guys are going to get man-to-man opportunities, and someone like A.J. Brown's going to kill man-to-man opportunities in this league. That's what the Titans need to do this game. Run it, and then when you have any doubts, you run it some more, wait until the game gets going, work into play action, work into quick pass on first down, stay in range of Henry. Don't let him leave your sight. Don't let him sub out. Make sure he gets at least 25 carries. I don't like putting numbers on things, but he needs at least 25 carries. And that's the Titans' key to this game. And I think they will. Not because they're smart or innovative or because Mike Vrabel's a good coach, but because he doesn't have a goddamn choice. If they try to come in with the same game plan against Seattle on the road in one of the toughest places to play, if they come in with the rubbish they presented against Arizona on Sunday, they're going to get blown out even worse. That's why Mike Vrabel, he's going to be desperate. He's going to get the basics, and he's going to pound this ball. That's why I like the Titans end of year pick, to answer your question. Let's get to PJ Mallett's question. Lawson, Lamar is 0-3 versus Mahomes, and Baltimore looks like it has major issues on both sides of the ball. I know Kansas City's defense is mediocre, but -3 seems like a solid bet, dude. Thoughts? Yeah, I agree with you. Because credit to the Raiders with the upset, credit to the Raiders with the spread call. We kind of saw that coming, and I had it on the upset video. We kind of knew something was lurking in the air. But even with that being said, we knew that vibe was coming. Man, the Ravens didn't play good that game, and I want to give credit to Gruden, Carr. You know I do. That's kind of my MO, and they've won us a lot of money over the year covering spreads. But I can't give the Raiders that much credit. I think Baltimore lost that game more than the Raiders won it. And with that fact lying in my head all week, and then watching the Chiefs film last night against the Browns, I have to say that Chiefs game's a money pick now. Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying, PJ. Thanks for the question. Also, thank you for the question, Shea Garcia. I appreciate it. Lawson, 3-team teaser. Cincinnati +9. I can vibe with it, but that game is a little bit risky to me. But yes, that's good fundamentals. But I didn't have it on my teaser video. Under 51 in Saints Panthers. I actually like that. That's an under that I'm not one to pound unders for money picks. They're fun to put on a teaser. I like doing it for you because I know some of you guys take it very seriously. But that under 51 in the Saints-Panthers game looks very appetizing to me. But maybe we will see some other opinions in the comment section. And Jets +11. I love that Jets +11. Listen, we know there's been a lot of fluff about Salah and the Jets. You got the quarterback with blonde hair. He's good looking. It can't get worse than Adam Gase, right, guys? There's always that type of fluff going around. And sometimes fluff is based on reality, but it is fluff. Let's not mix it up in that direction. But I got at least half of my foot in with some of this Jets fluff in terms of I think they're actually going to show up in games, be competitive, and be physical. Now, are they going to have a great offensive line? No. Are they going to have great defensive play and force a lot of turnovers? No. Is the pass rush going to be what it needs to be? No. But at least Zach Wilson added energy to this team. And this is a Patriots team that lacked spark and creativity on the offensive side of the football ever since Tom Brady's departure. It really does. And Matt Jones, say what you will, how excited you are about him, and you can't complain. I don't think he makes enough plays in this game. That's why I feel really, really comfy pulling up on a blanket on a Sunday night, on a Sunday afternoon with a little bit of this Delta 8 and then riding with the Jets plus whatever it was, 12, 13. Let me get the exact number you teased it to. Jets +11. Yeah, I'm riding with it. This is from CJ. Hey, Lawson, what do you think about a teaser? Eagles +10.5, Falcons +19.5. Okay. Let me just give me a second to digest that. Because I did see this question really early this morning, but it was when I was waking up. So give me a second to digest it because it really is a good question. I felt like my teaser I posted on YouTube was fire. I think that's going to hit. It's just for those of you who haven't checked it out, go check that out. I make sure you guys hit the like button. I'm pretty sure that teaser I posted this week hits. I got a really good feeling about it, especially after that easy Giants one. Okay, so we got Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Right now it's minus 12.5. CJ wants to move it to Atlanta plus 19.5. And I guess I have another question to you, CJ. Isn't there more meat on this bone this week? Isn't there like a little bit more in the buffet line? It does feel like we're settling for London broil when we could have top rate steak just a few walks away. Like, I understand the methodology. The fundamentals are good. And you know what? You're probably going to hit it. Because we know Tampa takes the gas pedal off. We know they don't want to show all their cards. And at times, man, they just simply struggle. When they lose rhythm, Tampa Bay loses rhythm, and they lose it for a quarter and a half, 2 quarters. Now, it doesn't mean Tampa Bay is not the best team in this league, but we even saw last year they stumbled at times. So the 19.5 is good, but I would like to reiterate my question to you. I would really like you to look at another game. Then you got Eagles plus 10.5. Yeah, I would lean to it. I would lean to it. But we have to look at this Eagles team and we have to be sober about it. We have to take a few deep breaths and understand that the Eagles completely are in a rebuild. And any player that can make an impact on the defensive side of the football for them is old and isn't at the top of their game anymore. Fletcher Cox comes to mind, even though he's nasty and he's a baller. But you guys know what I'm saying. And I'm looking at San Fran, and I just think they're going to run this ball and keep running it. On the other side of the ball, who can provide inspiration for that offense besides Hurts? And Hurts has to provide inspiration, not just in the pass game, not in managing the game, not just making audibles, but he really has to make a difference in the run game. The Eagles need that extra man because I don't think their offense line can push around the 49ers. I think that's a risky pick. Oh, Lauren, I got you on that. I got you on that. I'm not going to forget. And remind me on Instagram tonight too, before you go to bed. But yeah, I'll have it. Well, it's just send a message on Instagram tonight. I'm still thinking. I think I pretty much have it. But yeah, send it there. I'll pick it up. Oh, Instagram is Lawson Bets NFL. And if you want to come on the show tonight, just send a message there. I think I'll take a caller. A live call, or maybe in like 20, 30 minutes if anyone wants to come on. Okay, this is from Sean Moore. Lawson, I am driving the upset bus. My next stop is to pick up the Bills, who I think fall to Miami, as well as the Saints. I really like the Saints thing. Sean, maybe you're lurking around a little bit too much in that Miami one, but I'll finish the question. I think both of those games have upset written all over. I think the Carolina one does. I get the methodology behind Miami, but you just have – I just want to hear your opinion about Tua, and if you think maybe this turns into more of an NFC East December game where both teams are running it and it turns into a slobber knocker. I don't see that. I think Josh Allen has plenty of opportunities to throw in the Miami sun, even though Flores knows how to call defense. Just think Tua can't just – I don't think he can pump with a dude like Josh Allen. I just don't think he can match it. Second part to Sean's question. What's not to like about Houston plus 12 or the Atlanta plus 13? The Houston one, I did pick them to cover on the week one, but it's one I haven't been thinking about too much this week because for me, it's just too many points for Houston. But if you look at the point spread, I'm not leaning either direction. I think it just comes down to how the Browns execute and what they want to do. In terms of Atlanta plus 13, I like your rationale only due to last season. Well, I, I don't want to play devil's advocate against me, but we did see glimpses of last year's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially regular season version of them against the Cowboys. Godwin's fumble, dropped passes. Hell, it felt like the Bucs could have put up 50 points that game. But Sean, the fact they could have put up 50 points that game is the thing that's scaring me. And I'm not so sure Atlanta has figured this defense out. I can't forget how bad they were last year. Okay. Timothy has a question. I love the Kansas City Chiefs -3.5. I can't imagine this Ravens team being able to hang with them on either side of the ball. Yeah. When you say the 3.5, though, you know me, I want to get it down to 3. I hate 3.5. I don't know if any of you guys have heard my rants on that. I just don't like 3.5. I had Patreon subscribers who didn't listen to me last year. I'll tell a story last year. It actually involved the Chiefs game. I don't know if it was 3 or 3.5, but it was only a half a point difference. It dropped a half a point at Tuesday at 5:00, and right after I said, guys, I don't like posting bets early, especially during this COVID era, but we have to lock in the Chiefs +2.5 or +3, whatever it was. A lot of the fans waited and got it at +3.5. Well, you want to know what? That was the difference in winning the bet or getting a push. And, no one likes to push, but sometimes I think you guys should feel a little bit more positive about it than you guys do. Some of you guys almost has an adverse effect worse than a loss. And that's one thing I've never really understood. Okay, a push isn't winning, and we're not in the game. We're not in the business of moral victories. I'm not even trying to be like that positive dad going on. But what I'm trying to tell you is when you hit pushes, it means you have your nose on the right trail and you're actually thinking how you're supposed to be thinking. Now, no one wants to celebrate it and no one wants a season of pushes. But also, I don't think they're as negative as people in this community make them out to be. Like last year, I would have there was 3 straight weeks where I picked 5 games. I had 3 wins, 2 pushes, maybe 1 loss, or 1 week I bet 3 games. I had 3 wins, 1 loss, 2 pushes. I'm not going to feel bad about that. Oh, Andy Rich, you didn't let me follow you on Instagram, bro. You denied me. You denied me. I'll get your questions just because you were subscribing since pretty much day one. Before I get to the rest of the Patreon questions, Justin Fields is a game changer, man. And I don't know if you saw my rant this week, but I finally kind of just had it with Matt Nagy. Some people called it a wrestling promo. It honestly wasn't planned. I was just doing an over-under video, and I just started to get frustrated. It's just with everything that's going on. Like I said, I watched the Bears during the preseason, and let's not even talk Justin Fields on the field performance. Let's just talk superlatives, and let's actually talk energy, something that is very, very important during the NFL season, especially now that we got this other game. Justin Fields provides energy and spark. You instantly saw the body language, the posterior, everything change about the Bears team every time he got in that huddle. And sometimes I think people overly focus on some of the raw skills when it comes to the quarterback position. For me, yes, you want a strong arm, but first of all, I want a man's man. I want someone people respect. And also I want someone who brings good vibes and energy and who's an absolute leader and warrior. And I'm quite optimistic that Justin Fields will do that. And I think he's going to battle. I think he's mentally tougher than someone like Mitch Trubisky. And personally, I think he earned it more. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I was the person who gave Mitch Trubisky a round 2 draft grade. But for me, if you let's talk about how much Justin Fields means, and let's talk actual spreads. So right now, last I checked, it could have moved because there's a lot of heat on the Bengals right now. Last I checked, we got Bears -3 at home. Soldier Field is actually a really good home field advantage that people forget about because the Bears are so lackluster on offense for the last 10 years. But Soldier Field's a hard place to play, and you put Justin Fields in there. How does your opinion change? What do all the subscribers think in the comment section? I know what I think. It would probably make me side with Chicago, even though I love Burrow, I love Mixon, and it seemed like the Cincinnati offensive line actually improved in the run blocking department, which was my main complaint about them. Yeah, I know you guys are on a little bit of a delay, but yeah, I'm high on Justin Fields. It's hard to choose my favorite quarterback coming out, but he might be. I really like him. $200 ad request on Instagram. Jeez. It's like that's like how much like a hot woman gets on Instagram. Okay. Cowboy CED. What's up, Cowboy? What's up, Cowboy? This guy's a really good guy. Lawson, what's your best 5 over and unders this week? Leaves just for Patreons only. All right, Cowboy, I'll leave tonight. I'll send you a message on Instagram just to let you know I read it. 1 second. I think, okay. I'm going to just send that because I don't want to forget. Yeah. Yo, Cedric, I just, oh, no. You don't. Yo, Cowboy, I just saw your question on Patreon. I'll answer it tonight when I post the spread picks. Appreciate it, bro. Okay, this is from Luis Mejia. Hey, John, what's a better play in your opinion? Lawson with 11, Lions with 11 points over the Packers, or the Texans with 12.5 over the Browns? Lions. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, share the videos. Make sure you guys slam that like button. And if you hate me, hit that dislike button. I think crazy things will happen in this game, and Lions to cover, I think, is one of those. Now, I'm not a big history guy because we should be watching the film this year and evaluating what's going on the field this year, unless you're talking about coaching matchups. But still, you should look towards this year and this year's film. But let me tell you one thing. Every time the Lions play the Packers on Monday night, the Packers are really good and the Lions stink. It always seems like the Lions have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. And I don't think this Dan Campbell team is good. I think they have the 31st or 32nd best talent in the league, and that's not a good thing. But I got questions about the Packers, and I wonder how much energy they're going to come into this game with. And this is going to sound crazy. Maybe this is a hot take to some people, but it feels like this Cleveland Browns organization is more focused than the Packers organization at the moment. I mean, so that's why I'm not in love with either of those, but if you had to go Lions, and if you wanted to tease one of those, I think I would rather tease the Lions. I think teasing the Lions would actually be a good strategy. But I didn't put on my teaser because, like I said, there was a lot of meat to pick. Yeah. And when you start seeing giant point spreads in divisional games, it gets a little bit dangerous. I'm not saying like I have a rule against doing them, but all right, I'm gonna get to the YouTube questions now. I'm gonna just keep drinking. I'm gonna get to the YouTube questions. If I missed your question, send a super chat. And if I missed your question, type it in again. I think StreamYard has, they say it's a 10-second delay, but with the way their comment section works, it's more or less, I don't know, like a minute and a half delay for me to see the comment. So just bear with me and let's get it going. And then make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, if you want to come on, if you want to come in, you don't have to show yourself on cam. You can just come in with a mic. Send me a message on Instagram. Okay, I'm going to get to this one first. This is from 626 Lunatic. Lawson, you think the Colts might upset the Rams? I think it's a possibility. But it is one I am staying away from because the Colts have a pretty solid team. Let's be honest about it. They have a very solid and balanced team. But you add Carson Wentz, who's kind of low on confidence. Now he gets an injury. Already, and it takes away some of his mobility. Mobility he obviously needs, even though he has one of the best O-lines in the league. My problem is there's no other playmaker in this receiving core, and T.Y. Hilton doesn't got it anymore. They keep talking how great Pittman is, but I feel like they need another dog in that receiving core. And when you're facing the Rams, firepower matters. There's going to be divided opinion on Matt Stafford. I've always loved Matt Stafford and respected him because I've respected and understood just how bad his offensive lines were, how bad his run games were with Detroit. And I still remember the MVP caliber season he had. So this is going to be closer than people think. I see some people saying Rams are going to win in a laugher. I don't see anything happening like that, but I do think the Rams win the game. Yeah, Poker. I do think Rams will be better than their week one. I do think the Colts will be better than their week one performance, but it was awful scary to me. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. I try, man, and those of you who've been with me for 2 or 3 years, no. And Shaw Moore, I already answered the Patreon questions. You had a really good question, by the way, bro. I already answered it. I think maybe about 15 minutes ago. Oh, that's a low blow. But it is better, man. And first of all, housing's lower, but also the currency really helps. But yeah, that's one thing. That's one benefit of living in Brazil because obviously I'm going to get married, so I'll get my citizenship that way, and that's why I actually had to come back for the documents. But yeah, man, like it's way better for living cheap, and I can just do the things I want, which is try to find you guys the best bats, do YouTube videos, and watch sports, and live near the beach within walking distance. Let's be realistic. If you guys want to live in Miami within walking distance of the beach, LA within walking distance of the beach, choose any city in the United States of America, bro, you got to be a millionaire. Sometimes even millionaires get boxed out in this real estate market. So yeah, what's up, man? I'm pretty much fluent in Portuguese now. Anyways, let's get back to football. Okay, let's go. Let's get to some questions. Michael Mulderry, Colts have an unvaxxed quarterback. Yeah, I don't like getting into that whole debate, but I'll tell you one thing. I took it by peer pressure because you know how it is, but it is what it is. But honestly, I wouldn't want to have an unvaxxed quarterback in the NFL if we examine the rules. It kind of is like JL writes here: Carson Wentz is cursed, so he leaves another open avenue option for him to get cursed. I feel you, Matt. It must have sucked seeing him leave St. Louis, but dude, I speak it, man. I speak it. How do you think I can even order food there? Like, that's a country where no one speaks English. Okay, let's get to some questions. Yeah, I don't blame you. Start looking for places. Get some sun in your life. Get some laid back stuff in your life. That's a good goal. Okay, let's get it. I'm looking for questions. Okay, write your questions below. I know there were some good questions. Okay, this is from Shush Derek. I haven't talked to him in a while, probably like 6 months. Okay. What's up, John? What's up, Derek? I'm loving this parlay. Rams -3. I can dig it. Cleveland money line. Get it. Tampa Bay money line. See, this is how you should use parlays. I'm not a big fan, but you should do one a week. Don't put too much on it. But yes, work money line into the parlay. Sure, the payout's not going to be great, but isn't the whole reason why we're doing parlays to increase payout? I'm not a big parlay guy, okay? Like I said, I do my one a week. I'll tease them, but this is how you probably should do it. And then KC Baltimore over. That's one where I'm feeling a little bit nervous, but you got to have one risky bet in there. I don't think Mahomes games are going to go under, but you can never be sure. And I am a little bit worried about Baltimore not showing up, but I truly believe Baltimore shows up, so it will go over. This is from Steeg. Eagles beat San Fran this week and lose to Dallas next week because Dallas is going to lose again and be 0-2. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, San Fran. Dude, I love San Fran this week. I think San Fran is going to come in really, really strong. I think they're going to run the ball, and I want to see what type of answers Philly has. And they have a rookie head coach, and let's bring it to the next level. Let's talk about coaching in this game. Man, for a rookie head coach to get Shanahan, that's a tough task to handle. And we saw Shanahan, he kind of choked in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Let's be realistic about that, but I still respect him. He's a damn good coach. I know they're going on the road, but it's not even late in the season where San Fran's worn down. I think everyone's sleeping on San Fran because last year they were terrible because they didn't have a quarterback. They had too many injuries, and I'm kind of liking the way he's integrating Trey Lance into the lineup. I think it adds more speed and pop on the team. You make a living just sport betting, bro. Yeah. For the last like 3.5, 4 years, I did like real jobs before this, like being a teacher and things like that. I've always just been a little bit better at this, and it's a lot better lifestyle. But yeah, that's why like when like, you know, I'll get trolls on here saying like I'm the worst handicapper ever. Like it's kind of funny to me. So because that's what you're going to get. But yeah, it's and then also the YouTube helps me. You guys help me. It's not a lot, but you know what? Like it's just, you know what? I'd rather be here doing YouTube with you guys than sitting in a cubicle making $200,000 a year. That's just me. Everyone has different preferences. Oh, it says week 1. Oh, come on, man. I messed up on that. Thanks for letting me know. Come on. See, that was a silly mistake. Blaze Towns fan. Hey, buddy, I've been loving your content. Keep it up. Let me check my Instagram real quick. I think someone might want to come on. I kind of want to get some new blood in the show. If anyone has courage, does anyone have any courage to come on? Because you guys know I won't eat you up. Like, because I know some of you guys are probably, some are new, but like, come on now, like talk to anyone who's been here a long time, like 626 Lunatic. He's been here since the beginning. Has anyone ever came on the show and I was disrespectful to them? Never. And I let people make their point. But yeah, okay, here we go. I got hidden requests on Instagram. I'm surprised. Okay, let me get to some more questions. Lane switch. How do we feel about the Falcons plus 13 against Tampa Bay's depleted secondary? Like I said, I like it. I already went on a long rant about it. I like it to a certain extent. It's just due to what happened with Tampa Bay in games last year. And also Tampa Bay is a team that loses interest. And I can imagine them losing interest even more this year in games like this. But if Atlanta does land a few punches, you better prepare for Tom Brady to come in and get in that ass. But I think Tampa Bay controls the game. It's just too dangerous for a blowout. It's just too dangerous. Although there's probably a higher percentage the Falcons cover that. Appreciate it, Josh. I try my best, Josh. I try my best. I Yeah, Sean, I agree with you. This week is tricky, but as the week goes on, I pretty much watched every game from week one. Um, so it's starting to add up a little bit for me, but yeah, I'm concerned about some things. Um, and there's a reason why we have to wait the whole week, and I try to wait till Friday night to post the bets because I was considering the Cowboys, as crazy as that sounds. I really felt like with the three, they could do some things, but now DeMarcus Lawrence out, I think another DN's out. That's not going to be good. That's not where Dallas needs to be. This Chargers Cowboys game is going to be a shootout, and it will be a shootout. And when you're in a shootout, sure, you need a quarterback, sure, you need wide receivers, but probably the thing that changes the game the most in a shootout is a good defensive end, is a strip sack, is a big play happening due to pressure. Listen, I think most interceptions in this league happen due to pressure, believe it or not. And that's everything. That's how an upset is formed. Everyone asked me, Lawson, how did you pick so many upsets last year? Dude, this isn't fair. You just got lucky. No, I pick upsets every year because one thing I judge very high when I grade games is pass rush. I judge the trenches because, sure, we know this is a quarterback-driven league, but the trenches are still extremely important. I think defensive end might even be the second most important position in the NFL, as crazy as that sounds, because there's not too many shutdown corners in the league anymore. There never really was, but yeah, so that's some of the line of thinking. Andrew, without Josh Jacobs, is Pittsburgh a good play? Andrew, thank you for asking this. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Those of you just coming into the room, go to my Patreon page, link in the description. That's where I post every bet, only $5 a month. I don't like the Raiders without Josh Jacobs. He's the lifeblood of this team. With all the offensive line changes they made, old reliable is Josh Jacobs. And you guys watched the Monday night game, I assume, probably all of you. Was the Raiders' offensive line getting that good a push? I didn't think the push was all that great. I thought that was more Josh Jacobs just being an absolute beast and a battering ram in between the tackles. That's what I thought it was, with some good play calling by Chucky. Without Josh Jacobs, the Raiders can't get going on offense. Without Josh Jacobs, Derek Carr, it takes the splendor off of him, because when Derek Carr is at his best, he's attacking down the field. And one way the Raiders attack down the field is play action. And you kind of have to do that when you got a guy like Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs looks like he's gotten a little bit better, but really Henry Ruggs can just run one route, and that's run deep. So you have to use play action to be able to get some advantageous situations. Okay, let's get it. Yeah, Marcy, the Bears do stand a hell in chance, because one thing people are underrating is the Bears defense. Now, ever since Fangio left, and really since Amos left in free agency, this defense just hasn't been the same, but they're still very physical and good against the run. It did surprise me at times how the Rams were able to push him back a bit, but they were on the field a lot first week. Conditioning's not going to be 100%. Of course not. But I think this Bears defense is damn good, and I think they have a way better defense than the Bengals. And the Bengals don't have too much of a pass rush. And that's one of Chicago's weaknesses. We know that they can't pass block, and last year they couldn't run block. Hopefully they're better at run blocking. I think Chicago has a chance in this game because of their defense, and then also Soldier Field. Soldier Field is one of the slowest surfaces in the NFL. And what I mean by that is it's a grass surface, but the grass is very thick. So it is a place that will slow down fast, blazing players. So I think this Bears defense will be pretty damn good. I think Cincinnati pulls it out, but there is the Joker card. There is the Joker there with face paint sitting on the sideline. It's not the white, red, and like purple or whatever the Joker uses. It's a guy's just there with like big eye paint. And that's Justin Fields. And it's really just a wait of when he comes. And I know someone's going to be surprised because eventually Justin Fields is going to sub in for a benched Andy Dalton during a game. You got to think, right? And I think that could mess up someone's Sunday. So be careful with Bears games until we see Justin Fields as the quarterback. Latasha Glow, Lawson, what's up, Latasha? Thank you. Shoza, thank you. Thank you for leaving the comment. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Okay, this is from Brad Baker. Any chance Vikings upset Arizona? Brad, I wanna find an angle, but I can't. I can't. And I'm not going to start with Cousins. I'm not going to start with this young defense that disappointed. But Brad, I have to start with Zimmer, and that's the reason why I don't feel comfortable. Now, Mike Vrabel has made a career of beating below average NFL head coaches. That's really when Mike Vrabel shines at his best. So you would think Cliff Kingsbury would be a good target for Zim. I felt like he lost the locker room last year. The excuse was made that we're playing a lot of new young guys on defense, and Kurt just needs more time. They do the Kurt needs more time excuse every year. But I think he's lost his team, and honestly, I think they're starting to tune him out. I don't think they're listening a whole lot. His defensive scheme is all over the place. He doesn't know if he wants to play press man. He doesn't know if he wants to sit back and zone. But it really doesn't matter what defensive back coverage he deploys. Teams are just pounding the living hell out of the front seven. And I think Mike Zimmer has fear about the secondary. So he's leaving two safeties back 25 yards. And listen, Kendricks is awesome. But, Brandon Pierce and Danielle Hunter and Kendrick aren't enough to stop a team's run game when you don't have other difference makers around them. Arizona doesn't run it a lot, but they ran it to keep balance. And that's the main key for Arizona going into this year. Run it to keep balance. I think Kyler makes more plays. I don't think the Vikings get blown out like some people are saying, but I think it is like a touchdown win for Arizona. If the Vikings were moving in a good direction, I would think this could be an upset game, but I assume you're a Vikings fan. I assume probably not. It's better if you're not. It's been a lot of suffering. I don't think there's any chance at the upset, even though Vikings should be contending to upset this game. Okay, let me get to the next question. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Jimmy, this is for Patreon. Can't give you everything. Can't give you everything. Okay, here we go. Hey, John, I have to say you're bang on with siding with Chicago. Overreaction from some of last week's games will cost bettors this week. Chargers over Dallas, Oakland will cover, and Carolina over New Orleans. Matt, it's a good comment because no one likes to lose. But one thing with this sport in particular, NFL, it really is a game of storylines. And once a storyline gets out there, it builds up and takes on a life of its own. And then also people are very, very reactive in the NFL. But one thing you have to know about the people who make the spreads, they're not reactive. Sometimes you can catch them a week behind, sure. But the reason why maybe you'll see me, there'll be college fun games, but there'll only be 6 or 7 a year. There's going to be things they miss on. But normally they're always right around the target because they don't react to drama or one bad performance. And they try to take a holistic substance approach of everything that's involved with it. And that's what I try to do. And that's why I do the power rankings. I'll definitely work in some power rankings videos this year because I think sometimes it's important. Yeah, you have to break down matchups. Yeah, you have to break down how this player, how this coach matches up with X, Y, and Z. But one thing that's very important is to stick to your guns and stick to your fundamentals. That comment actually helped me tonight, Matt. That's a good one. Andrew, any thoughts on why the Cardinals game line changed from 4.5 to 3.5? Not entirely sure about that, but it did open at 3.5. So I assume the Vikings are getting some late energy because here's one explanation. This might not be the exact explanation, but there always seems to be heavy action in favor of Minnesota and Vegas because they've been a team for the last 6-7 years who has covered an awful lot of spreads, especially against mid-tier teams, above average, below average teams. So I think some people are just getting nostalgic and making mistakes, but they're probably people with lots of money. I couldn't imagine Joe Public rushing to the legal sports books today to pound Minnesota, right? I couldn't see it. Like if you're telling me last week, I could see it. About the Titans question, I didn't see who sent it in originally, my bad. But about the Titans question, I feel like plus 6.5 is good. I feel like that has, I'll be honest, the fundamentals of this game have been screaming out to me all this week, especially because I'm not as high on Seattle as Joe Public or Mr. ESPN. But when you add it to the 6.5, it actually makes me consider betting it. And I think that could be the angle behind the line change because Vegas might not have been getting enough action and probably wasn't getting enough action in the Titans' direction. So plus 6.5 is a little bit risky for Vegas, especially when, when a lot of people love betting Tennessee and they'll come in late. What's up, Mike? What's up, Michael? Man, the only thing keeping me from picking Carolina is because Sean Payton has owned us the last few years. Correct. Sean Payton's an absolute beast, and you can't undermine him or look past him. You just hope Matt Rule isn't going to do anything stupid or feel pressure, because let's be realistic of one thing, Mike. When this enters the fourth quarter, this isn't going to be like last week when it was the Packers. The Saints are going to be in a one-score football game when that fourth quarter clock starts. And that's when you're going to see the real Jameis Winston. And that's how you're going to see Matt Rule reacts when pressed. Last year, he passed a lot of tests, but also the tests were a little bit easier because we're going to grade them easier when you got Teddy Bridgewater slinging it with Christian McCaffrey on the IR. Things change this year. Let's get to some more questions. Greedy gambler. You bet college football? No, I don't. The two things I pound are NFL and soccer. Hector Perez, what up, man? What up, man? How you been? Yo, the Raiders won last week. I think last time I talked to you was like March, and I was like, dude, what are the Raiders doing to this offensive line? I was just like, man, we lost our cash cow. And then they come in Monday night and Chucky pulls the rabbit out of the hat. And it was a good win, man. It was an emotional win. And that crowd was good. Listen, I got to tell you guys, I'm a little bit in my feelings still about them moving the Raiders from Oakland to Las Vegas. It's not something I like. I think it affects the soul of the game, especially when the Raiders are a traditional franchise. And maybe, I know some people are going to disagree, but maybe one of the most iconic sports franchises in America, maybe even the world. They might have the best logo in the world. And then you move them from Oakland working class to Las Vegas, which is really just a tourist attraction for upper middle class professionals. And, and you think it might lose the soul, but it felt like there was a ton of soul in that Monday night stadium. And I guess it's just one thing you just can never underestimate. You get in a lot of these conversations like who's got the most fans in the United States? Pittsburgh, Dallas comes to mind, New England because of the Brady era, whoever Tom Brady's playing for. But one team people sleep on is just how strong and how many and how long Raiders fans are. They're everywhere, man. They're like Bills fans. They just come out of the woodwork, man. You can be anywhere in this country. You can be in Montana. I bet you could find 10 Bills and Raiders fans. Terry Walker, Atlanta, Philly under. I don't remember. You should go check out the over under video. But let me take a look at it. I'm probably going to lean towards under. Yeah, I'm going under. Yeah, because everyone's pounding the over. I even think that Philly 49ers over under, I think that could get pounded up, man. And with all this Eagles hype we're getting, we might even see a half a point get ticked off the 49ers here. Sean Payton's no joke. No joke, man. No joke. He's been my kryptonite. There hasn't been too many who are my kryptonite, but Sean Payton is. He just is. Yeah, I beat him a lot, but he is my kryptonite. The Saints really shouldn't have been as good as they were last year. It was just because he was so nasty. Yeah, I'm feeling the Lions too. That's one that was an interesting game all week. The spread's interesting; it adds an extra element, but also it's really interesting to see what Aaron Rodgers we see. Personally, I have no idea what type of Aaron Rodgers we're going to see. And I think that's enough to get me to want to tune in. It's one of the most, how can I say this? It's not that exciting or anything like must-see TV. It's not going to bring you back to Monday Night Football 15 years ago with John Madden or anything with those great matchups. But it's going to be a good game, and I'm looking forward to it. At least we can somehow manufacture something out of Monday night. But let me ask you guys a question. When you guys watch Monday Night Football this week, Ravens game, when you guys watched that, did you guys watch on ESPN2 with the Manning brothers, or did you watch the regular telecast? I'm going to just go get a glass of water real quick. I'll be right back. Just like a 50-second break. Make sure you hit the like button when I'm gone. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm back. No dabs. Although the Delta 8 sponsor, damn, you guys try that out? Yeah. We're getting sponsors on the show now. Can you imagine? We're going prime time, man. Going prime time. Yeah, man. I thought the Manning brothers together was good, but also it's also ESPN admitting that they know we hate their announcers so much. We would just rather hear Eli and Peyton like shoot shit on a webcam. That's how you know it. Yeah, I get it. My only problem was next time when they do it, because of course they got ESPN's got a lot of money behind them. They should make sure they just increase the sound effects of the game, because sometimes like you would focus too much on their voices, especially when they were talking about random stuff. Gotcha. Okay. Here we go. Dude, I appreciate it. I wish Deion Sanders would do the show. Man, I wish Deion Sanders would come on here Friday. We wouldn't need too much amount of his time. Just give we can do the spreads of Deion in 12 minutes, man. It'd be dope. Deion's probably terrible at betting though. Slatty Patty, how do we get on the live show? Lots of ways. Which do you have Instagram? If you have Instagram, just send me a message, because I just need to send a link to your Instagram. It's really easy. My bad. I always make the mistake. My bad. And you want to know what? Okay, I got here's something that is kind of bothering me. Okay, like we know this is like, we know like it's NFL. We know it. We know it's sports betting. We know like, okay, this is like a thing normally like dudes do, right? But YouTube, do you guys believe this? YouTube says 98% of my viewers are men, 2% are women. For me, I don't believe that. I think there's like 10%. It's just based off Instagram. But yeah, like I was like 98%. Come on now. That doesn't make sense. Dude. Okay, what? Yeah, Mike, a good thing about the Mannings were they were actually hitting some jokes. Like there's actually some really funny jokes. Like I'm not a big fan of the Mannings humor. I feel it's like a bit quirky, maybe a bit forced at times. But like, dude, yeah, they did hit a good 2 or 3 jokes. What's your favorite over pick? Terry, go watch the over under video. Let me find something for Terry. I'm trying to think what I thought was the best over under. Let me actually go to my notebook. One sec. Come on, Terry. It's all Terry's fault. All right. Let's see how quick I can find this. Let me get to him. Okay. Should be coming up soon. I like One that one over under I've been kind of feeling is Houston at Cleveland, over under 48. The rationality behind that game is more so because I don't think Houston scores over 10 points. And I also question how much Cleveland wants to beat their ass. That's not the best one, I think. But that was one I was feeling a little bit. And I guess the best one would be San Fran at Philly. The over-under is 50. I think it moved down to 49.5. But yeah, that's what I'm watching. Let me get to the super chat. Thank you. Girls play too, buddy. Let's go. Okay, let me bring you on. All right, I'll go to your Instagram. I did see you blowing me up. Okay. Okay, yeah, if you want the Saints perspective, I'll come on. Wasn't sure where to send us. Let's go. Okay. I gotta just send you a link. Okay, we'll get the first guest on. I'm kind of feeling good energy wise, so I kind of want to go past 2 hours. So I think we'll actually get to everyone's question tonight. Yeah, I want to hear it too. It's always nice to get some new blood in. Drip Scalark, Rams, Colts. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Rams, and I think the difference is I think Matt Stafford makes more plays than Carson Wentz. Also, we're going to start seeing weaknesses with the Rams. Here's a high IQ take, and this is what I'm talking about plotting before Vegas. We love the Rams and Stafford, especially this channel. I looked at a lot of opinions when it happened. This channel seemed like 95% to love it and understand the value Matt Stafford brings, especially with the boy genius Sean McVay. But the time to fade the Rams against the spread is once we get to week 7, week 8, because they don't have any depth. But they got their full go. The injury report looks good. Just checked it out this morning. I think Rams beat Colts because they got more playmakers. And I think Matt Stafford's just a simply better quarterback. And for all the money that the Colts have spent on the defense, and I like the Colts defense, don't get me wrong. It's a pretty good above average unit. But when you look at this Colts defense, I don't think anyone on this comment section would type a comment with a straight face saying they would rather have the Colts defense than the Rams. Now, Colts defense has more depth, and yeah, they got an elite player like Darius Leonard. But what other playmakers do the Colts really have? And when you're in tight games, when you're in playoff type atmospheres, when you're on the road, when you're in a slugfest, when you're facing someone equal to you in the NFL in this game, it comes down to your playmakers. And I don't want to be simplistic. It comes down to coaching and playmakers and dogs. And I just think the Colts got a bunch of pretty good dudes, but they don't got as many dogs as these other playoff contending teams that they're going to be going up against. Listen, I think a lot of people are misconstruing some of my opinions about the Colts. Let me be clear. When we talk about the Colts preseason during training camp, we always have to keep in mind the Texans are in their division and the Jags are in their division. That's 4 games. And the strong team in their division is the Titans, and they just got blown out at home against the Cardinals. A team, we'll see what they do in the NFC West, but the NFC West is an absolutely pit bull fight. It's nasty. Yeah, so I think Rams. I think Rams make more plays, but it's going to be a close game. Oh, I will. This year, I'm looking at maybe an early November date. But if I had my perfect choice, I would wait to after the season. But unfortunately, due to laws, I have to. So, Jonathan Chavez, Lawson, do you do survival pools? No, but I would just. You guys are smart. Like, listen, like. I do really feel like I have a pretty, in terms of sports, I don't know what you guys think about other stuff. But normally when I talk to you guys about other stuff, you bring pretty elevated takes to the discussion. But you guys can infer which team to take from the survivor pools from the Vegas spread video. You really can. But no, I won one when I was 15 before. I played with my dad's work friends. So my dad put me in. I won. But I like but it is a different methodology. But I think some of you guys make the survivor pool more complicated than it needs to be. Uh, but the NFL survivor pool is only as good as the next upset coming up. Tell me who your lock is, and I'll pick holes in it. Just tell me who some of your locks are, because the one I pick less holes in, the better. And the way survivor pools work, correct me if I'm wrong, if things have changed in the survivor pool game. But the way things work with survivor pools is you can only use one team once in a whole year, right? So that takes a lot of strategy. But if you write down the teams you're considering taking, okay, I lost connection to my mic, my bad. But I did watch quite a bit of the Giants Broncos game, and I don't know if it was more Giants dysfunction or if it was more, how can I say this? Those of you who watched the Giants Broncos game, did the Broncos show you anything new, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, that makes us think that they could somehow squeak out 9 to 10 wins with Teddy Bridgewater? Because I was thinking like 8-7 for them the whole year. I'm not sure if I've seen enough to change my opinion on Denver. But also, man, I'm really worried about Urban Meyer. He's gonna turn into a laughing stock, and it's just not something I want to see. Okay, I got your email. Okay, we should be getting a guest on soon. Oh, I can chat privately with my guest. Okay, this might actually be easier this way. Let's see. Just bear with me for a second. The way this podcast is going, I think next year I'm going to hire a person to do the technical stuff. One sec. Sorry about this. For some show news. Oh, thank you, Fia Lee, for subscribing on Patreon. I really appreciate it. Also, Trevel subscribed on Patreon. I appreciate it, Trevel. Malcolm Jenkins subscribed on Patreon. I appreciate it. I'm about to bring on a Patreon subscriber, Lauren. I appreciate Ryan Ramirez too. I appreciate it, Eusebio Fernandez. I appreciate it, Lawan. Johnny Covers joined. Appreciate all the love on Patreon, guys. All right, let me get this email out. I'm acting like my grandma now with how slow I'm sending this out. Okay, 1 second. Lauren, come on, Lauren. Okay, yeah. Anyways. So another thing I'm thinking this week is I want to see the refereeing. I think that's one thing I thought I would see more of you guys talking about, the refereeing, because that's also something we need to worry about as well. Like, I'm not going to say I'm autistic, like I know every little detail about every referee, but I do keep a black book, specifically when I see something suspicious. I'm not saying NFL's fixed or anything. I'm not saying it's like NBA or how it was like with Tim Donaghy or anything like that. I don't like going down that stuff, but I do follow a few official crews who I know are going to call a game a certain way. So yeah. All right, I just sent her the link. Let's see if she comes on. Let's see. Yeah, John. I agree with you. That fumble in overtime by Dalvin Cook didn't exist. It just simply didn't exist. It was baloney. It was Bush League. And I get it. the angle wasn't definitive, but didn't everyone have the vibe? Didn't everyone have the vibe that he was down? But I guess that's not enough to overturn it. And you know what? I like that in a way because sometimes I feel like they overturn stuff they simply don't have the evidence for. Got my headphones ready for when Lauren comes on. Yeah, I believe there were. I did like how the first half flowed. I felt like they did a really good job there. They didn't get too involved. But yeah, it always seems like they show up in the second half, which is something I don't get because you want them to show up in the first half to see like, okay, this is the line. If you cross this line, we're going to throw flags and give the players a fair chance. Instead, they make players look really bad in really important times of the game because they're just not consistent enough. For sure there is. For sure there is. The same way there's flow and rhythm in a game. Also, there's a guy, I don't know if you know him, Gary Danielson. He's like when Alabama plays Florida on CBS, he's the color commentator. He used to play quarterback in the 70s, the NFL. He says momentum doesn't exist, but he's completely wrong. And officials affect momentum as much as a big play or a turnover. It really does. And that's one reason why you always have to be worried about some teams with high penalty rates on the road, i.e. Raiders, i.e. Bengals. Those teams are traditionally in the bottom 5 with penalties. And listen, I've seen the Bills have pretty bad teams, but I've seen them have a chance to upset the Patriots. At very worst, come in with an easy cover of a big spread. But you want to know what? Bills were running the ball good every single time with Fred Jackson. 6 yards, 8 yards. You want to know what happened? Bills kept running it good. Holding, 1st and 20. And then you know what the Bills would have to do because they didn't have Josh Allen at quarterback. They ended up punting it. Seriously, 4 straight drives, holding flag on a positive run game, and not even anything, just blatant. So this is how referees affect momentum, in my opinion. Yeah, I hate makeup calls as well. It's just too many people getting involved with the game. Yes, you heard Fred Jackson because those were the specific days I was following. Listen, this was before like really good high-speed internet. Like I would still stream games, but if my Minnesota Vikings weren't playing on one TV, I would always have the Bills. Local network. Dude, I've had to watch some really bad Bills teams. Like I know bad football as much as anyone. Oh my. Oh, it's using my other camera. 1 second. Oh, this ain't good. Yeah, this is a bad look. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, it's not going to do it without me reloading. So we're just going to have to roll with this. All right. Yeah, let me get to some more questions. We got a super chat. Appreciate the super chat. Hector Perez. Yo, big man, back at it again, baby. Insight on the Raiders pit. If Raiders have Lamar scrambling, how do you think Big Ben is going to try to scramble? Yeah. And Hector, isn't this what we were talking about last year and even 2 years ago? I wanted to see the Raiders get a legit pass rush. And it's more important than getting a legit secondary in this league. And I don't know how they stumbled across of it, but look at what Max Crosby's doing. And sure, we had to hear ESPN like talk about him literally the whole game with Carl Nassib. We get it. But now it looks like the Raiders finally have a positive pass rush. And I think that can change a lot of things. I think it really can make a big difference for the Raiders. Yeah, I think Raiders got a chance in this game, and I thought we were going to get a lot more Raiders talk personally. But that's why I said when we let off the show, that's always the joy of doing this show. You guys are seeing different things. I thought you guys were going to be all in on this Raiders game. But yeah, the more I think about it, the more I like the Raiders. All right, Lauren, I got you. Let me just send you the link on Instagram. I'll send you the link on Instagram. It'll be easier. My bad about that. But yeah, Hector, and appreciate you for the super chat, Lauren and Hector. But yeah, also Hector, another thing about the Steelers, you're going to hear me talk about a lot about this Raiders O-line this year because they just moved so many just studs off the team. I think Incognito's coming back soon, so that's good. But here's one thing that I'm extremely worried about with the Steelers, their offensive line. We know they can't run it. We know they can't have run pass balance. And just how much can Big Ben produce? And it's not like he's got a dog on the outside. You got Juju, but there's some interesting young options on the outside. I think they've actually found a running back that's been killing the Steelers for the last 3 years. But I don't think the Steelers' offensive line is good enough. That's why I think the Raiders got a shot on the road in Heinz Field. I think if the Raiders lose, it's going to be something with them making bonehead mistakes, bad clock management, late turnover, 2 or 3 missed field goals. I just feel 2 or 3 mixed field goals coming. And I'm not quite sure why. Lauren, I'm going to get that sent out right now. Yeah, I got, yeah, Hector, I got your super chat. That's why I was going, that was the rant I was going on about. I appreciate it, my man. I agree. And plus the offense does seem to be lacking an awful lot. I mean, it's like I said, like when Big Ben and the Steelers were really had an open Super Bowl window, they had a top 5 offensive line when Le'Veon Bell was balling. That's just the facts. All right, I finally sent Lauren I finally sent her the link. Let's see. Okay, sent. Okay, let me get to some questions before she comes on. I'm curious to see how this goes. Appreciate the courage. Always like talking to you guys. The great one. Yo, do you think the Cards are a playoff team? No. And it's not because I don't think they have the quality. When you look at this roster, they have the quality. And I've been seeing a lot of negative stuff about Kyler Murray during this offseason in training camp leading up to the season. And I didn't really buy into that. Not because I haven't been disappointed with him. I just think he's making progress, but I also look at Cliff Kingsbury, and he needs to run this rock more. They need run pass balance. They can't be throwing it 50 times a game. They can't be relying on Kyler Murray to run it over 10 times a game. He did that at times last year, and that's just too much on his body. And they need to help their offensive line, and they need to help Kyler Murray by running it. And the best recipe to help a quarterback is to run the ball and at least create run pass balance. We saw them do it pretty good against the Titans, especially using the short pass game. That's obviously something they got to continue, but I want to see them get a running back in groove. And sure, you want to run read option looks with Kyler Murray. You want to run a little bit of option, but also you just want to pound it down his throat and give Kyler Murray a few plays off and then work play action off of it. I'm not saying the Cardinals are going to come in and be a physical team, but when you're playing in the NFC West, you better know 2 things. You better have some good coaching, and you better be freaking physical, and you better be able to stop the run. I worry about Cliff Kingsbury in that equation. Cardinals made enough moves on defense to be able to stand fortified against, let's be real, the most physical division in football. I think they can match up physically with this nasty 49ers offense, especially their offensive line. I think they can match up good with the Seahawks. So there's a lot of things to like about Arizona, but what's Cliff Kingsbury going to do against this elite competition? And then another question I have is, I ended up choosing the Cardinals to finish last, but I'm gonna send something out to the chat right now. One of these 2 teams will collapse. Either the Cardinals or the Seahawks will collapse. I don't see the Rams doing it. I don't see the 49ers doing it. All four of these teams are playoff caliber teams. That's one thing that's very important. But unfortunately, if you're in that division, you automatically have 6 games against physical and pretty damn good teams, and they're not easy wins. So that's where I'm at with Arizona. But let's see how they do against the Vikings. And if they start 2-0, Vegas is going to start showing some love because Joe Public will start showing some love and moving these Cardinal spreads. And if we can get the 49ers on the road, even though I don't like road teams going in the desert, there could be some opportunity here. And I'm just excited to watch the Cardinals too. Okay, I sent her that. Did she get it? See, this is why I need like a producer. Yeah, she got it. She got it. This is why I need a producer though. This is exactly why. This is on my wish list for next year. Okay, it says device. They will need to connect their cam mic before you can add them to the stream. All right, she's here. So if she connects a mic, she'll be good. It's a tough program to maneuver, but she'll find it out. It is a little bit hard. Okay. We got a hot take in here. This is from Hunter Silvers. The Cardinals feel like the biggest trap this week other than the under last night. Okay, the Cardinals feel like the biggest trap this week other than the under last night. I feel like this week may just be oh, my bad. I butchered it. My bad, guys. My bad. And you guys want me to do dabs when I take a break? My God. The Cardinals feel like the biggest trap this week. Yeah, Lauren, dang. Yeah, Lauren, I still can't add you. Just enable your device. Like click on cam/mic and you should be able to find a device to enable. All right, we're going to start again. My bad. Hunter Silvers. The Cardinals feels like the biggest trap this week other than the under last night. I feel like this week may just be take a couple shots on some dogs and just watch some football. Yeah, I see what you're saying because week 2 is sometimes the most surprising week, believe it or not, even more so than week 1. But when I'm looking at this game, I just don't know if the Vikings are focused enough. We can talk X's and O's. We can talk about the matchups. We can talk how the Vikings could possibly block Chandler Jones or use Dalvin Cook to minimize the passing opportunities. But I don't know if the Vikings are going to be mentally prepared. I don't know if the coaching is going to be all that great. And it's tough to go in the desert to win on the road. It's tough. It really is tough. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, maybe try connecting some headphones, like some Apple I headphones if you're on like a phone. But if you're on a computer, I think you got to enable this website to share your cam and webcam if possible, but we'll see. Hey, Lauren, just try to go to cam/mic if you see it on the bottom. And then if you're on a phone, just try to use some headphones. It should work for the mic. But if you're on a computer, you should try to enable it. Yeah, doing it on the phone is the easiest. What capability do I need to do that? Don't they have fake burner numbers? But how would I set that up to the computer? And honestly, it's for me, this site's really simple. It's just the first time people come on here. Mike, you've been on here a ton, but I don't know if you can remember your first time. It's a little bit weird with the layout, but also it doesn't help that Windows, they're kind of worse computers now in 2021 than they were in like 2014 because they're always shutting down apps. They're always setting down connections. They're always doing annoying ass updates that disable important features you need to do shit like videos. It really is bothersome. That's why I just got this nasty laptop. It's 6 years old. It's a really great laptop with great stats, but I just keep riding this baby. It's got a cracked screen, but I won't keep riding it because it seems like, listen, okay, it was in Brazil. Anyways, for a birthday present, I bought my girlfriend a laptop. She needed one. So, anyways, so I do that, and dude, I do all this research. I find the best one for the best price, pretty hefty price too. I'm a pretty cheap person in general. This is more than I would like to spend. Um, Anyways, so you get it, and it's slow as fuck, but it has tons of RAM, tons of space. She doesn't really do much on it. She might use it 3 times a week just to go on Google and maybe type something out on a website for an application like a government thing. That's all she does, and then it doesn't work. So that's where we're at with technology. Yeah, it is a pain in the butt, man. But how do you do it on the phone? Blanca. Who's Blanca? Is this a joke I'm not picking up on? I thought maybe he was saying I was like Fred Flintstone or some shit. Um, HP. I'll ask which one it was. I thought maybe it was an Asus. So yeah, at this point, Tim, you're probably right. I just didn't know it would devolve to this point because you guys know I'm not a guy who likes technology. Sometimes you guys will go on Instagram. I'm not even on Instagram for 3-4 days during the off season. There's one time in the off season I was on Instagram for 2-3 weeks. I'm not a big technology guy, but like, listen, the few benefits are like actually being able to do research and do videos, and that's really all I want to do. Clutch. Washington still winning the division. Oh, I see you coming in here. No, because Fitzpatrick got knocked out. And that's just what you're going to get with some future bets. You know, I made the bet with Fitzpatrick starting every game. You would assume. I didn't see the hip injury coming. Like, called my dad today. He was like making fun of me for that, and he says like Fitzpatrick is overrated, but man. I made the bet too. Yeah, it can come true, but I'm not buying the Taylor Heineke stuff. There in Washington media and in their fan circles. I don't know if any of you follow their stuff. I just do it because sometimes I have AP on. He follows that stuff. They were trying to build up momentum for Taylor Heineke. Yo, Lauren, we should probably just try to get you on next week. So we'll figure it out. If not, I guess someone's got to send something to me on Instagram so I can just get someone to call in with the phone. If not, you should get like a cheap mic. I think it should work, but yeah, I don't want to waste your time with you trying to get in. What's up, Victor? I'm going to Rams. I've talked about this game a lot today. But I'm going the Rams because I feel like they have more playmakers and I feel like they actually have the better defense. Now, a lot of people are going to say the Colts have the better defense. And if you're talking depth, yeah, but we're week 2, so it's not going to matter yet. I really like the Rams. They might get worn down a bit in the second half, but we didn't see that Colts team run the ball that well against the Seahawks. Also, it will help the Colts are able to get the lead early. If the Colts get the lead early, they can pull this upset. I just don't think they get the lead early. Maybe they get a 3-0 lead. The Rams come back with a touchdown, and I could see the Colts keeping it in striking distance and being close. But for them to win the game, they have to get a lead, and then they have to focus on the run game. Clutch says over 50 on the Rams Colts. Yeah. A little bit hesitantly with it, but yes. Poker still rolling. Bengals and Titans upsets. Now I like the Titans with the points at this moment. Bengals one I'm staying away from. Titans at 6.5 is just too juicy for me, and I have to work out my bias. I probably, if I do bet Tennessee, I'll probably have to take them with the spread, because even though the fundamentals are lining up for an upset, especially with my evaluation of Seattle, which I don't think I'm entirely wrong about, maybe a little bit biased against Pete Carroll, but I don't think I'm entirely wrong about it. So with that being said, I think the Titans can do it and everything's matching up. I just don't trust Mike Vrabel. And I had worries about this offense, firstly, to the new offensive coordinator. But when you bring in Julio Granite Stone Jones, it forces you to throw the ball, and that's not what the Titans do. Hector Perez, yo, heard you mention the Falcons should cover the spread with the Bucs. That was the one plus 19. But don't you think the Bucs also be more focused on that poor game, almost dropping the dub? Think they make a statement and blow them out? I think it's possible. And I think we're to the point with this game where we're talking more about what Tampa Bay psychology is, more than what the Falcons can do to put up resistance. I agree. Of course, you're going to get a little sniff of an upset with this game. I didn't really like the plus 12. Especially because how explosive Atlanta is. I know how explosive Tampa Bay is. And one thing we need to remember, Atlanta's got a really bad secondary. And from what I've seen, they haven't solved their pass rush issue. That's a problem against Tom Brady. It really is a problem. Bucs defense is a bit banged up. And the reason why I said the thing about the gas pedal is, we've seen this Bucs defense, when they want to shut you down, they can, but they do have an on and off switch. And that's a good way for opposing teams to cover double-digit spreads. It's when you do take your foot off the gas pedal. And I don't really think Tom Brady wants to kick anyone's ass this year per se. Like, I've seen him have malice in his heart before and really want to blow teams out. Like, I remember one time they beat the Vince Young Titans in New England like 60-5 or something insane like that. You can look it up. It was in winter. It was snowing. But I don't see that malice in his heart. I don't really, because they're going to play Atlanta again. And it always seems in the NFC South, at least once a year, we get a big brawl between these teams once they play the second time. This division isn't hyped up a lot for competitiveness and close games and chippiness, but this division is rather chippy, and I think the Falcons are going to come in here with a lot of pride. So if you tell me the plus 19, I think that should be on your teaser. I didn't put it on because there's a lot of meat to pick this week. Plus 12 is a different story. Here we go. Oh, no. Here we go. Card Shop Reality. I'm personally betting Bucs money line all year until a loss. I don't blame you, but with some of these money line odds, it's not as good as last year because we were doing that all last year on the Patreon and it was working, even though sometimes the Buccaneers would screw us, but it was working all last year. But I wonder how Vegas is going to adjust, and I want to see if the Buccaneers get any adversity this season. Like, what if the Saints start 3-0? What if the Panthers start 3-0? I want to see something like that happen, so we really see the full force of Tampa, and then we can definitely pound them on the money line. All right, guys, I'm tired. All right, guys, just before I leave, I want to make a correction. I am taking Chargers to win in the cover against the Cowboys due to DeMarcus Lawrence being out. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. I want to say thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you guys for sharing the videos. And thank you to the Patreon subscribers and all the new Patreon subscribers. Let's get this money this week. I'm ready to get at it. I'm ready to play some bets. Bets will be up probably 9:30, 10:30 in that range Eastern time. They'll be up tonight. Hit the like button, share the videos, and if you're a Patreon subscriber and you want a quicker answer back, Instagram, because I can send a voice message to you. I prefer it. than just like typing out. And Patreon doesn't have the best setup. So send me a message there if you got a pressing question. Hit the like button, share the video. You guys know the drill. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.